What an exciting crowd. It's good to see everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. I'm Angela Paxton. I am a constitutional conservative. I'm running for the Texas Senate, and I'd love to represent you there. My husband Ken and I moved to Collin County over 20 years ago to help plant a church and also to raise our family. And over the last almost 2 decades, I have worked in the political trenches with many of you who are here standing or sitting in this room, helping build Collin County into the conservative powerhouse that it is today. Not just keeping it red, but making it redder, because that's what we got to do in Collin County. So I thank you for coming out tonight and caring about what is happening in your community and coming to listen to who you want to represent you. You know, I believe in representative government. I grew up in a family that, well, it was a special family. I'm adopted, and I have very, I would say, deliberate parents. I think maybe because they realized they might not have ever been parents, they were really particular in how they raised us. They raised us to make a difference in our community. They raised us to know that we have a purpose and that every person is made in God's image and everyone has a future. You know, I was the first person in my family to graduate from college, and it was at the expense of, a lot of expense to my parents and a lot of sacrifice on the part of my parents, but that mattered to them. They wanted something better for me than they had themselves. So I graduated from Baylor University in 1985 with a degree in mathematical science, math, computer science, and business. And I went back to school a couple of years later and got my master's degree, and I became a teacher because I wanted to make a difference. And I taught high school college algebra, pre-calculus, trigonometry, and physics. And then later, I became a guidance counselor to help kids to think through how could they have a successful future? How could they make a difference in the world? And so, you know, education is really important. I've had a 22-year, very rewarding career in it. And our state dedicates 52% of its general revenues to education. How many of you moved to Plano because you wanted a great education for your kids? Education is important. And I want to take that experience to the Texas Senate. You know, we have 31 Texas senators. 2/3 of them are business people and attorneys. There are even 3 doctors. But did you know there's only one person in the Texas Senate that has any kind of experience in a classroom where education happens, where learning happens? And I want to take my experience and make that difference for our kids in the future. You know, as I've been out campaigning and listening, I haven't been surprised at the priorities, because they are the same priorities I have. I've lived here for 20 years, and the people I'm talking to are my friends and my neighbors. You know, the first one is stop illegal immigration, secure the border, and enforce the ban on sanctuary cities. How many in here are first-generation Americans? There are a lot of you here. You came here and you did it the right way. We have to stop rewarding people who come here illegally. We have to enforce the ban on sanctuary cities. You know, we can document over 600,000 crimes since 2011 in Texas alone, committed by people who are here illegally. We have to enforce the law and keep our communities safe. And we have to secure the border. It's not enough to know who's here. That would be a nice start. But it's not enough, because we also have to control who's here. This is Texas. This is our border. This is our country. The second thing that you're telling me is we've got to have real property tax reform. and relief and school finance reform. That matters a lot to me because it has a lot to do with schools. You know, the biggest part of our property tax burden, which is outpacing the growth of our paychecks, is our school portion. It's over half, almost 2/3. And what makes it worse is we put all of this money in and we don't get to keep it here. Robin Hood sticks it in his knapsack and runs it back down to Sherwood Forest or wherever it is that he takes it. Plano has put in, paid $1.8 billion since Robin Hood started. That's got to end. Robin Hood needs to. Finally, I will protect the Constitution and our Second Amendment rights. I am licensed to carry, and I am a pistol packing mama, and my husband Sue's Obama, and we'll keep it that way. So, you know, I know as your senator, I'm not your CEO. I work for you. I'm proud to be endorsed by so many great organizations, Grassroots McKinney, Collin County Conservative Republicans, and great people, the entire Collin County House delegation. But the most important endorsement to me is yours. And I want to work for you, and I want to ask for your vote in the March 6th primary. Thank you very much.